Thank you for joining offandonstage.com, and we are so excited to have Elmo Chesterhazy band today. So my first question is, who's Elmo, who's Chester, and who's Hazy?
Well, that is actually
That joke, right?
No, I think it's actually really funny.
But you know what? I know everybody will want to know how you got your band's name. So can you tell that story?
This came from a dream many years ago. And it was a dream in which my high school friends and I were all partying along in our car. And as we drove along, we saw this great big marquee. And it said, "Tonight, Elmo Chesterhazy." And I was just sitting in the car going, "Yeah, that's my band. That's my band." And when I woke up, I said, "That's a pretty cool name, you know."
That is. It is really cool. You know what's cool? Is that you remembered it. I mean, how many people remember their dreams?
Well, in particular,
Only the important ones.
only the important ones. And besides, what an odd name.
It is an odd
It is an odd
But
name.
it's easy to remember, I think. Hey, you know what? Let's back up because why don't you guys introduce yourself? You are not Elmo, Chester, and Hazy. Who are you guys?
Oh, okay.
Well, my name is Lance Foster, but a number of people know me as Lance, and a lot of people know me as Elmo. And this is my lovely wife, Karma.
Yeah, I'm Karma. Do you want the last names
Yeah,
too?
you have a different last name, right?
Yes, I have a different last name, yeah. I've been around a long time.
Cool is that?
Yes.
So it's Karma Rayleigh?
Rayleigh, yes.
Okay, great.
And, yeah.
And I'm Tim DiBaradino.
Okay, let me clear this up. Okay, Max Mago is a stage persona for my magic act.
Wait, you're a magician?
Yeah.
You are a magician on the drums, I have to
He's a
admit.
musician.
Woo.
Yes, well,
He's
see
a
how,
musician.
But you are like a
see how the bass
magician.
drum is actually floating above the drum? That's an illusion. I've perfected. But getting back to the drums, I mean, you could just leave it as Max Mago. I say it that way for simplicity's sake, because my last name has strange pronunciations.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you are up
Like if I
accepting
get,
your Grammy award, they're not going to call you Mago, right?
they are
They are?
at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Oh, okay.
So how long have you guys been together as a band?
Well,
Oh, about 2.5 years now.
5 years?
yeah.
How'd you find each other? How'd you get together? Did you have auditions or?
We'll let Karma talk about that one.
Okay.
Do we have auditions? No. Actually, we moved from Pagosa Springs down to Denver, and we found Tim living right next door to us. He was there before we were, and one day we heard him outside playing guitar.
Yeah, I wasn't even playing the bass at that point.
No, he was playing
in,
guitar.
It was in my
just-
storage unit.
He was in there just jamming away outside. And I remember going down and getting a drum, and Lance got his guitar, and we came out and did you play that day? I don't remember. We just kind of jammed with him.
Then there was the mandolin.
Yeah,
Yeah, then there was the mandolin.
it's over
and-
there somewhere.
And then one day we were standing outside in our smoking space, which is out by our storage spaces by where we live. And he happened to have the door open to his storage space, and Lance looked in, and there's a 6-string bass, you know, and a bunch of and an amplifier. And suddenly we discovered there's a lot more about Tim. And then I don't know, he just started coming over. He kind of liked what we did, and we kind of liked him, and we just hit it off.
And you cooked him dinner? Is that right?
That didn't come for a couple years later.
No, he had to really, yeah, it took a while before.
It was coming over
It was
begging
nice
for
when
it.
it finally happened. Yeah.
Well, how did you find Matt?
I was performing and I watched their set and went up and introduced myself and told them I liked their music. They gave me a CD and I started listening to it over and over and over and over.
And meanwhile, we thought Max was just the neatest and funniest
Magician,
we had
and
ever
we
seen.
just were like falling off our
Max Mago, the magician. And
Yes.
so we're like, here, have a CD.
You know, we just thought he was cool, so we were really.
Then we found out he played drums, so.
And I'm all out of wind. short, the liberty cage. You know you so feel something when you roll like a lion. They pick the lights and broke the chains and so well now it's all sport, just another rampage. You got an appetite, like the bottomless canyon. And if it's all that for the take, well, where do you start? And when only the felonious when only the felonious you say the lights too bright, a bit on the stage, you strut your stuff, you blow like a siren. But you soak it up, yeah, you soak it up, yeah, you soak it up. But if the devil is due, that's your blood on my page. It's why the night's so dark, and you live like you're dying. You better who's supposed to work and then you drink the cup. And then when only the felonious when only the felonious no! Well, now the smoke's too thick, down on my neck. The shit shaking right, with the blood red horizon. And the battle rages on, with me, you're skull and bone. Against the dead man's chest, just another shipwreck. It's all the last swim on, and the water keeps rising. Now your blood pulls you down like worthless stone. And good night, when only the funniest know. Only the funniest know. And now, when only the funniest
Originally, the song was more of a fuzzy, psychedelic kind of song, and it was supposed to be slithery and slimy. And one evening we were here and just kind of bebopping around to some jazz thing, and we all kind of ended up in that song. And so now we're trying to make that be the song or the version that we're doing. It's a little trickier
But
than
it's
it
still
seems.
nailing that whole, what is it?
Seafaring, nautical.
Yeah, but it's more,
It's a pirate
but
song.
it's not just a pirate song, it's this sham about the whole, it's about people who are felonious, the success of our world today is nothing but a fucking sham. I mean, that's basically what it's.
Hey, you use the F word again.
Yeah, I know, you have to censor
Again,
it.
again. Hopefully my sister-in-law won't faint.
Oh, okay,
No.
okay.
I think she's heard that word before.
Oh, are you recording this? Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's been recorded.
Well, It's an interview, right?
Yeah, right,
Want you to
sorry.
be as real as possible.
Okay.
You need to
Buy a good cord, right? Okay.
Or 10.
Well, now way out here on this desert island, there ain't nothing much to do. There's more sand in the sky, and you can shake the stick. Come on the beach, set the fish out of the sunset. It's like a big man told me back in 75. You got to read around the poison if you wanna stay alive. Well, now Cain's too able, and when he was done, he turned his bloodshot back to the setting sun. He had a tattoo on his arm, I'm like a snake. He said the wind is right, I made it big like they break us out. Do what you need to survive. You got to be around the poison if you wanna stay alive. Right. Hey, well now I'm insane here at the early gate. You say, what are you doing, boy? We just go to the way. You said the last thing I remember with a fool on my face, a bunch of trans fats and carbohydrates. That's cool. The last thing I remember, I was sitting in a big old pot over an open fire. Those people dancing around me and the flames got high. I started to sweat, said what's happened to me. Well, he changed, turned around and grinned at me and said, I guess you said, there ain't nothing I wanna say. And this ain't no jive. You got to be around the poison and you wanna stay alive. Be around the poison if you wanna stay alive. Be around the poison if you wanna stay alive. Be around the poison if you wanna stay alive. Be around the poison if you wanna stay alive.
If you guys could have anyone in the whole world open up for you at Red Rocks or wherever you want to play, who would you have?
I know who I'd have.
Randy?
No, I'd have Randy. Randy would be playing with us, and there's no doubt about it. And
Who would
Randy
you
would
have
say,
open?
"I'd have Kevin and Carol open."
Oh yeah, that's a
Kevin
good
and Carol, these
one.
fabulous.
Big Circle T.
Big Circle TX. They are.
Really a good band.
She
out of
is the
Austin.
greatest singer in the world. I took 4 lessons from her and improved by 1,000%. And
Wow.
I when I took lessons from her, she asked me, who do you want, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I really like Edie Brickell, and there's an Edie Brickell song I want to do. And she smiled and she said, Edie Brickell used to come see me in Austin.
Wow.
And she grew up her dad was a country western musician, and she just
Down in
grew up.
Texas.
The whole family, her sister's a singer too. In fact, they have a niece now that's headlining. She'll go all the way.
Mhm.
You know, but that's who I have.
How about you, Tim?
I have no idea, God. Because, well, open for us, that's kind of a loaded question. 'cause
Yeah, it is.
it has-
I know, and then I
You
get
could have Bono, you could have anything.
Anybody?
Oh God, I'd have Bono. Are you kidding?
Bono? Not Bono.
Bono.
Forgive me.
Not Bono.
She didn't care about Bono, she wanted Bono.
No, shit. If I could be on stage with anybody in my
No,
greatest
they
dreams.
are opening up for you guys.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, how would that be possible? I mean, the people I know
It
who I
wouldn't
love
be
are dreaming.
possible.
It wouldn't be, but it's a dream, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to be on stage with Santana.
I was
Ah.
thinking that,
Same
Sure.
thing.
but I was thinking
Really?
we would have to open for Santana.
Oh, hell yes.
But
Not in this
Not
particular
in this
case.
Right.
In
but-
this case, you'd be surprised.
dream.
You'd be surprised what people will do. What I've seen people do. It's like, oh, yes.
You said that you're gonna have an album release, and that's gonna be at the Bug Theater, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that, because it sounds fabulous.
Well, do you want to talk, Lance, or shall I?
You can go ahead.
I can go ahead. You just okay. It's a completion of a new group of songs. There are 11 of them that Lance has been working on. Most of which got written in the last probably 2.5 to 3 years, but maybe aren't there a couple that are older? Not
Not that
much,
much.
not that much. They're the new songs since the last album. He did an album in 2009. And so this is that group, and so it was time to okay, because he's ready to move on. It's like these are done, and he's already moved on, but
In fact, it may be a different album by
By
the
the
time.
time
we
I'm
release it.
no, we're sticking to this. That's why I make it a commitment for the show. And so we're gonna have lighting, and I've got a really wonderful friend who knows our music really well and likes it, who's gonna design the light show. And I want dancers. Dance was my passion really, but I got to it as an adult. I mean, as an too old adult. You know, I actually got into it. Well, it didn't matter. That's doesn't matter. I'll be choreographing this, not dancing.
Is this what you're calling your art rock
Yes.
show? Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's sort of
Dancing.
a genre-proof thing.
It's a performance art show. I want performing arts.
Okay.
And I consider painting a performing art.
Okay.
Because otherwise it's like a dead art. And there's nothing dead about art. You know, it's very much alive, don't you think?
Art is not dead.
Yeah, art is not dead. And in fact, one of the gigs that Lance and I had in Pagosa Springs, we played on the patio of this Italian restaurant. And they loved us there. One of the ladies who came there, who was quite well-known artist from the area, asked if she could paint while we played. And we have this song called what is it? When the Stars Fall, which is a song that Lance wrote when we got married. And it's just this beautiful song, you know. Of course, the song is about when the world gets too much, you know, just, you know, come with me down the hall and we'll smoke a joint. That's really what the song is about. You don't know that, because it's really a beautiful,
We do
it's
now.
just
Yeah,
he's so, yeah, don't you, oh dear.
there's no
No, I
secrets
No,
here.
there are no secrets here, that's
Hey, we're
right.
in Colorado, it's legal.
Yeah.
That's right.
But she did this really fabulous painting, you know, of this hand, just reaching out your hand. It was really,
Neat.
yeah, so, and that's the kind of thing that, you know, and I also it's because, you know, it's my, you know, like I said, Lance, it's either my greatest boondoggle or my, you know, he writes all the music, I like to stage it, maybe that's it.
Great.
Okay.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Build a funky station out in my garage. I'm gonna make it out of full construction site garage. It's gonna run on Captain Crunch and melted Vaseline. I'm gonna man all the controls to my laptop PC. And my mama, she thinks I'm crazy. And my mama, she thinks I'm crazy. And my sister, she thinks I'm crazy. And my brother, he knows I'm crazy. And my neighbors all think I'm crazy. And my teachers all say I'm crazy. And my probation officer thinks I'm crazy. Even my friends, even my friends, even my friends. I'd be amazed if no one's ever thought of this before. I guess even Einstein never looked beyond the open door. All in a flash of basic concepts just occurred to me. And all the rest I got from watching Star Trek on TV. And my mama, she thinks I'm crazy. And my brother, he thinks I'm crazy. And my sister, she thinks I'm crazy. And my brother, he knows I'm crazy. And my neighbors all think I'm crazy. And my teachers all say I'm crazy. And my probation officer thinks I'm crazy. Even my
CDs?
You can get them through
iTunes.
the normal iTunes, Amazon, CD base.
And before they came here, Lance was
Censor
getting,
or something
he was
like
getting airtime in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
We figured that's where it was coming from, was Europe. And I think the song is the Hourglass song.
Oh, neat.
The one that is.
I've been getting a fair amount of internet radio play.
ColoradoWave.com has been, Carmen Alga
That's been
thinks he's
good.
a psychedelic genius and has been playing him in rotation on Colorado Wave and on indie radio, so he plays in LA on a regular rotation. And she's been doing that for over 5 or 6 years, and she's kicking us in the butt and saying, get busy.
Good.
Get another album.
Get another album out. So it's like, okay, so that was part of the thing about we better get this album out.
So my last question is, what's the dream for your band? What's your goal?
That's a good one, Lance.
That is a good one.
What's your vision? Then we'll ask if you guys get your vision too.
Well,
Because
band,
this is important.
because we all have
This
other
is-
lives, it's important that our dream of the band doesn't conflict with our other lives that actually do things like put roofs over our heads and give us food to eat and stuff. So, at the same time, I would like to see the music that we do get used in, I don't know, movies and stuff.
Are you doing anything to
I've actually gotten,
go towards that?
well, I've actually gotten my stuff used in some independent films and some instructional video and hunting videos. That was a strange one.
It was our neighbor.
I'm not
He goes
much of
to
a hunter,
Springs
but I
and
had a
loves
neighbor
his
who was a
music.
hunter and wanted to use the music.
He's an extreme sportsman. You know,
Uh-huh.
he does all kinds of stuff.
I love that. That's a great story.
But so go on, Lance. So what do you
That was
want? That was it. So your vision is to do.
Do you have a different vision?
Well, I mean, I'd like to be able to get out there and play for some pretty large audiences eventually. But
Would you like to quit your day job and just
Yeah,
only
of
do
course.
music? That was a dumb question, huh?
Yeah. Okay. Pardon.
Okay.
My goal or dream, I guess, with this project has always just been to try and help, Lance's songs reach their full potential. I think they're great songs. They don't, they deserve more, I think, they could be huge. They could be, and I'm not saying like worldwide fame, I'm just saying sonically, they could be very big and loud.
Yeah. And they can.
So if there's a dream, it would be to have 8 musicians, on the stage playing this stuff as loud as possible.
Oh, thank you, Tim, because that's exactly what.
That is a
And
good,
that's
an admirable
That's
goal.
a wonderful thing, and that's what I started to say about the whole digital thing. When you give somebody like Lance, who just keeps, writing, the ability to have orchestras at his fingertips, he has them at his fingertips. So what he's done digitally, you guys have barely even heard. Nobody's even heard what he's created digitally, and they're huge sounds. And what's exciting about these guys, and I'm happy to hear you say that, Tim, is the fact that your assistance has been huge.
Yeah, on the small
I mean-
part, like I said, if there could be, it is hard to, because he does put it on the albums that he does, alone, puts together a very complex system of sounds, and to even be able to come close to do that justice live. We've touched on it a few times in here, probably not so much live out. There's a ton of potential.
It would be Red Rocks, indeed.
I agree, thank you. Boy,
And it would
that's wonderful.
be backup vocalists, perhaps some horns, keyboard. When you were talking about how big it could get,
Yeah.
we did have one gig where we had a
That's
keyboard.
right,
where
that's
we had a
right.
keyboard
We had
player.
Randy
And-
Reeman,
and-
who is just a monster on the piano,
Really
and he was delightful.
nailed it.
Yeah.
So like with some backup singers,
Oh, I see 8 voices at least. And when we did
And I will
that.
have my big drum set.
Yes.
We'll put
yes,
the choir
yes,
over there and the
Oh,
orchestra.
The only thing I have to figure out, and I know how I'm gonna do it,
Some new
Matt,
sound
I figured it out. It's like,
effects.
duh.
New sound effects.
Because I'm trying to figure out how can Matt play the drums and dance? Because he's he's an all around actor,
You can do everything.
performer.
I like
He's-
to, you know,
Yeah.
I
And
like to do a lot of different things.
so I know how to do it now. Simple. Film. Duh.
Okay, so I guess that was my last question, but I want to ask you guys if do you need to tell the audience anything?
Pick up an instrument, something,
Pick up an instrument. That's a good.
paintbrush.
Don't
Open
limit
your mouth.
yourself.
Yeah. Don't limit yourself. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, you can,
Yeah.
everybody has the potential
Everything's
to create.
possible. I'm almost 70 years old, and I go around telling people that I had to turn 60 to get to be in a rock band, because I mean, Lance and I played together, but we never really played together. I mean, he did, when we were in San Diego, when we were first married, he was doing open mics and playing art galleries, and we felt, I mean, doing things like that. Before that, he was doing theater and doing coffee houses and doing restaurants and then he put together a rock band that knocked my socks off. That's when I met him, and it was like whoa, so
Heartthrob.
it was like almost
Were you
immediate.
a groupie? No.
No, actually,
For a little while.
for a
For a
little
little
while.
while, and then we got married.
Yeah.
Well, it was
I love
yeah.
that.
They used to call me a guppy, not a groupie. Yeah, because it was like I wasn't really a groupie because I was more one of the guys, so it wasn't. So that was Dalton's term, guppy.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on
Thank
the
you
show,
very much,
and
Mitchie, thank you for your interest.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just really
I'm
flattered.
excited, yeah.